Hello everybody, Caden here today with another episode of our zoo series, and today, as you've obviously seen, we are doing a panda exhibit sanctuary type thing. Yes. Oh man, I've had a bit of an interesting time coming up with ideas for this build, and I think, hopefully, it turns out well. I mean, that being said, it could also be a complete catastrophe and just be like the worst build in the zoo, but hopefully, in some slight chance that that doesn't happen, it'll be a bit of a spectacular build. I'm hoping at least. I mean, I feel like, oh, is my sound a bit loud? No, it isn't. I think it's just that's it, my computer volume stuff. I'm hoping it'll be pretty good because the last panda exhibit I made was pretty fantastic, I think, at least, back in the old zoo, so I'm hoping we can kind of recapture the magic of that. Anyway, the plan for it is actually somewhat similar to the last one we built, so one of the big things I'd like to do is kind of have it separated from the rest of the zoo, kind of have it be in its own area, quote unquote. So it'll have like a special entrance that's just for it and all that kind of stuff, since, you know, in real life, at least I believe it's still this way, zoos have to essentially rent their pandas. Well, if you're not in China, you have to rent your pandas from the Chinese government, and they will lease them to the zoos for a certain amount of time. Which also, I believe, means when certain countries fall out of favor with the Chinese government, they lose their pandas, or the right to have the pandas in their zoos. So, like, I don't know, that's kind of a weird thing. But anyway, what that means is, as I've kind of seen doing a bit of research, pandas tend to have special areas in zoos because since they're not animals that are always there or are, you know, like either consistently there or, you know, they're very special when they're there, they kind of tend to have very nice exhibits with a lot of great viewing and cool facilities and all this kind of stuff. So I don't know, I felt like it's kind of a cool idea to kind of give them their own like really nicely decorated area we can do a lot with. So yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing. And I think it's gonna go out over here. So we're gonna have a main pathway coming along this side of the orangutan enclosure, just kind of going back there towards what will be our North American area. And I think we'll have a pathway coming right about here. So I'm actually just gonna grab like just these to kind of give me an idea of where the entrance will be. So we'll have like this, and this will kind of be our Panda Sanctuary area. Meanwhile, over here, we'll kind of pull in the rhinos and maybe the yak over here, I think. So I don't think the elevated viewing area, I think the elevated viewing area is still gonna happen. I'm just not exactly sure where it's gonna go now. But yeah, we'll figure that out in this when we get there. But anyway, I am gonna get started on the terraforming and the planning of this enclosure. So yeah, I'll bring you guys back in when that's done. Okay, I've been planning out a lot of stuff here, and this has quickly gone from what was meant to be a fairly standard size enclosure compared to everything else to quite a massive build. Some might even say a bit grandiose. Yeah, no, it kind of makes me laugh. I wasn't planning on going or doing this much, but I think it's kind of looking really cool, or I hope it will look super cool. And I guess that is kind of going for more of the, I don't know, I guess the look I was kind of hoping to go for. But yeah, we got two main areas here, and well, basically the blue outline is kind of the interior area I've outlined and like area for the paths to go. I've taken inspiration from a couple of things, one being, well, stuff you aren't even going to be able to see yet, but it's stuff that you'll see more when I actually get to building it, and that is from, I believe it's some concept art for the Berlin Zoo, for their panda area. So I've got a couple of areas where I want to do some stuff inspired by that. But the general gist of this building, of all things, has been inspired by city skylines, because there's a panda sanctuary you can get in that, and I really liked the look of that last time I played it, so I kind of wanted to incorporate some of the things from that in there. So hence why there's going to be kind of like this is its own fenced off area, the enclosure kind of being split into two areas. That being said, I think I was going to mark it out like here that this walkway right here is kind of going to serve a double function of being both a walkway for the visitors and a tunnel kind of thing. So we can hopefully have the pandas go to both sides of the enclosures, but there should hopefully be tons of cool areas to see them from, good amount of space for them to live, and then of course we have a shelter back here, which probably needs a lot more space added to it, but that'll be fine. We'll get to that when we get there and all that. But yeah, this is the entrance for it, which looks not great right now, obviously, since I haven't really built anything for it, but I think it'll look hopefully pretty cool. The problem is, since this build kind of expanded to something I wasn't really expecting it to, pathing is going to be a bit of a nightmare around here, because it's good, at least this path is going to kind of have to thread the needle between like this and a similar wall that'll probably be running along the outside of this enclosure. So yeah, I guess this one will just end up being a lot of like fences going along here as the terrain elevates, and a lot of bamboo going up the side of this. Oh, also that quickly reminds me, whoops, not that. I believe this is it. So I installed the, what is it? The Monkey Madness mod, because a lot of people recommended it for its orangutan, which still looks derpy, but I'll be honest, I do like it better than the previous, or than the other one we were using. So you know what? We're gonna spawn a couple of these in. So yeah, I think there is actually a, oh no, Gigantopithecus, which, you know, I'm not saying there's a Gigantopithecus in the enclosure. There might be a Gigantopithecus in the enclosure, you know? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Maybe it's just a really big orangutan we found. Okay, I know that is huge compared to, you know, like how big an actual orangutan is, but part of me really just wants to have this in here because, I don't know, that's just hilarious to me. You've just got like all these normal orangutans and then you got the giant one. But yeah, anyway, thank you to everyone who suggested I get that mod. Yeah, there's some pretty cool stuff in it. We'll see how much of it I end up being able to use. But yeah, thank you for the suggestions there. Anyway, back to the pandas. I guess I've got another debate I gotta figure out with this. Because we could leave these as two different enclosures technically, since we do have two pandas. We have the vanilla pandas and Untamed Wilds. That being said, I vastly prefer the vanilla pandas, which is weird because usually I prefer modded mobs, but the vanilla ones, I don't know, they're far cuter and they have some really nice animations actually, like the little rolling animation they do and eating bamboo and stuff. So I think we might actually just go with the vanilla ones. Anyway, though, there's a lot more work to get done, so I guess I better get down to it. All right, this is what I have been working on. And once again, we're in a situation where instead of focusing on the exhibit, hint, hint, you know, maybe the thing I've done for this build and this build and several of the builds over there, I instead got overly fascinated with doing one particular part of the build and then spent far too long working on it to the point that this video is going to be super late. Yeah, I built the entrance to the sanctuary area, and I have to say I absolutely adore this thing, mostly because, well, I've built structures like this in the past that are inspired by like a mixture, I guess, of probably like a bit of Tibetan, Japanese, and Chinese styled, almost like palaces or temples. And I really like the look. I think it looks really cool, but I think this is by far the best one I've ever made. I think this looks pretty spectacular. There are a few weird things, particularly with the front here, that I didn't realize I'd messed up on until after. So yes, I know that symmetry is horrible. It will be changing. I gotta fix it. But I was like, oh no, that doesn't look right. However, I have all of this I need to work on. Like, I actually need to carve out the exhibits. I need to get the pathways in. I need to get so much more work done. I'm gonna fix that before the end of the episode, don't worry. But yeah, no, I need to spend a few more minutes probably just actually getting the exhibit done, because that's a bit more important, I've realized, is actually having an enclosure. But like I said, I'm immensely proud of this. I think this looks really spectacular. And yeah, I think it'll be a pretty amazing entrance to the area and should very much make this area stand out from the rest of the zoo. On the interior, there's nothing yet really. It's not super well lit in here either. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm doing the lighting. These lanterns probably aren't staying. But I want to do also like little planters in here, obviously, some seating and some other, you know, interesting stuff to look at. And then of course we'll get started on this. I'm not sure how far down I want the exhibit to go. It might, I'm thinking this layer will be the highest point the exhibit gets to, so we'll kind of dig down from here, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I would like to do another style like, or building like that over here for the, I was gonna say for the enclosure, no, for the shelter and the visitors, the zookeeper hut. But we'll see, because this took a lot longer than I was expecting it to, mostly just because of the roof, I guess, but also I wasn't sure what I was doing exactly. I really love the entrance here though. Like, I don't know, what are these? These cherry trapdoors plus the warped wood behind it, the gold right there, all these black stone blocks, and then these colossal doors here. I don't know, I think that looks absolutely fantastic. I don't know, I'm pretty happy with it. Plus, I mean, imagine you're like walking down here. I mean, you got a lot of cool buildings right here, but you see that? I mean, like, how cool does that look? Especially like over here, and eventually when there's a pathway probably coming through, probably around like here-ish. Like, I don't know. I'm just super happy with how this has turned out. It's so much better looking than I thought it was gonna be. Anyway. I'm gonna get back to work because I need to probably try and get most of at least this first area done, like terrain-wise and stuff. So yeah, I'll get back when probably the paths are in, all the areas are carved out, and I've gotten to work on like how this exhibit's actually supposed to look. So yeah, I'll be back in just a second. All right, we're getting closer to finally finishing this project. Oh man, it's actually not even the same day I started recording this anymore, right? So people, listen here. I ran out of time yesterday. So it means it's now Saturday when I'm recording this, and I woke up late. So, ooh, this is still going out late even though it's already a day late. Woo, go me, being the most productive person ever. Since the last clip, yeah, no, I've gotten a lot done. I mean, it didn't. That being said, I think this did it take about as long as this did? I don't think it did. I still haven't done the roof, by the way, or fixed the roof issue, but we'll get there when we get there. For the most part, though, yeah, I got the paths in, so they're all going around the area. I've gotten the exhibits kind of terrained up. I need to terrain this one up a bit more, but for the most part, a lot of this is getting very close. I do remember vaguely that right before I went to bed yesterday, or well, just was like, guess what? So I worked on this till it got to a certain point, because I think it was about 2 in the afternoon, and then I'm like, it's gonna take, I won't be able to upload this till like super late, and it's not really worth uploading that late. And then I worked on it for a bit before I went to bed last night, and I think I started working on this, because I was suddenly like, oh wait, we have a mountain here. I'm gonna need to continue this around, so I don't know if it'll actually end up going this far. Maybe it'll even hook up into this one, maybe it won't, who knows. All I know is this build is slightly, just maybe, a bit grandiose for what we're doing. Also, I don't know, I have it in my head that this is the case, and it might not be the case, and if it isn't, I'm sure someone's going to correct me. But I seem to remember that pandas are much more solitary animals, so, you know, you wouldn't generally have lots of pandas living together. That being said, I very much want to throw, like, a bunch in here, mostly just because it's a fairly massive exhibit, and if we're using the vanilla ones, I definitely think we can fit, like eight pandas probably in here, and it would be more than fine, like space-wise. So I might end up doing that. which I think will be kind of cool. But yeah, that's this is what we're working with. Also, I threw these little rock clusters in around the walls, and I really like them. I think I don't know, I think they add a little cool little thing. I know they can jump out over these right now, but I'm gonna put like slabs and stairs on them and all that, so that way it's mob proofed technically. And I might throw some of those over here as well. We'll see. Who knows? But yeah, overall, I'm really happy with this. It's turning out really, really, really well, and I don't know. I still think this is by far one of my favorite builds so far. Wait, we did. Oh yeah, we changed out the big El Chonko orangutan. Oh man, I'm losing my mind. I'm gonna get more work done, I guess, because we need to terrain this up a bit more, and then I probably need to throw in some water and do a shelter and rocks and plants and everything. Oh my goodness, there's so much to do. I'm losing my mind. Oh, and then I want to do the interior of the, oh no. Oh no, people, what have I done? I've actually, once again, I feel like I need a term for it. I guess cadened could be the term. But like I've made a build that is beyond what was needed, and it is kind of being like, hey, maybe you shouldn't have made a project this complex. Maybe you didn't need a project this complex, but maybe you did. You never know, I guess. Anyway, enough dilly-dallying. I'm gonna get back to work because yes, and we'll see how far I get. And here we are with a mostly finished build. We're gonna have to come back for another episode to finish this off, and I do actually want to do another episode on this because we have a lot of space, and I think we could probably do a small exhibit for, I don't know, some other small animal around here, and I think that'd be cool. Plus, I think it'd be cool to do a garden of some sort, so I kind of want to build that. I don't know where that's gonna go, I don't know how it's gonna work, but yeah, anyway, we have an exhibit to show off. So, going back to the entrance of the sanctuary, of course, we have this, our rather amazing looking entrance. I changed a little bit up here. I think I'll just throw some like flowers or something there at some point, because I think that'll look pretty good, but other than that, nothing much just changed up here. Interior still looks the same. I have fixed the roof, so the roof now actually is the way it's supposed to be and isn't like crooked like it was. Anyway, once you of course walk through these rather magnificent doors into this place, we got a couple of viewing areas. Just, I don't know, I thought it'd be kind of cool to have a couple of viewing areas in here. I might actually remove this one and make like billboards or something there, since there's a lot of plants there. But anyway, once you go through there, you can go out, I guess, either this side or that side and take a look at the exhibit. You get a full 360 walk around of, well, everything, and I think it's turned out really cool. I have got this planter here for right now. I don't know if it's gonna stay. It may not. Kind of just depends on if I feel like it makes sense. Which right now I think it does. I think it'd be cool to throw some more bamboo in here. But yeah, we got lots of cool areas to see the animals from, lots of good viewpoints, and lots of foliage, which is, I mean, pretty amazing. I have decorated this very similarly to our orangutan exhibit with these like small, I don't know, aspen-like trees, and then of course lots of bamboo everywhere. And I think, I don't know, I think this has turned out rather fantastically. I'm very, very happy with this. But it is missing something very important, and that is the pandas themselves, which we shall spawn in right now. We'll spawn in a couple of them. I think I'll spawn 3 in over on this side, and then we'll spawn 2 in over on the other side. Just so we got a good variety of pandas. Pretty cool looking. As for this, which is our zookeeper building slash staff room slash, what is it called? Shelter for the animals. I went for a slightly different style of building. Like I mean, it's very similar in terms of color choices, but I think in terms of the actual appearance of the building, it's quite different, and I kind of like it. I think it looks pretty cool. However, it is not actually finished because it was either I get this done or I get the video done, and I was like, probably should stop working on this for right now, once again, just so that there's something to actually upload and not just, you know, nothing at all. So yeah, that's why. But yeah, anyway, it looks pretty good from the outside so far. It's gonna obviously extend more out this way, and it might even curl back in around this somewhat. We'll see. In fact, I'm thinking I might make an exit over here, and then the entrance is over there. But yeah, anyway, the back of it, nothing much in here. I don't even have anything really in the interior of the shelter yet. It's just kind of a cool looking building for right now. But yeah, it needs a lot more work to get it all finished up. But other than that, I don't know. I think I've done a pretty spectacular job here. I think this may very well turn out to not only be one of the best Panda exhibits I've ever made, but quite possibly one of the best exhibits I've ever made as well. So yeah, I'm really happy about this. Anyway, I guess that's really all for today. So next episode we may be coming back and doing a part 2 of this build, basically just kind of getting a bit more of the extra stuff, like the amenities and guest kind of stuff in as well around here, and going from there. But anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you've all enjoyed, and until next time, guys, see ya.